use whenever your data is, continuous, whenever your data is continuous, and these are coming under parametric test. One sample Z test I talked about, one sample T test I talked about, and sometimes I want to understand, I want to compare, let us say Maggi with another make, Top Ramen or something, right? There are two brands of Maggi, two brands of noodles. I wanted to compare brand X with the brand Y. Brand X with the brand Y. How do I compare? Again, use data. Again, my data is continuous. I have two suppliers supplying me material, an aluminum ingot they are supplying. And for me, the tensile strength of the aluminum is important. Tensile strength of the aluminum is important. Now I have two suppliers. I want to understand whether both the supplier give me the same material. I will consider that both supplier give me the same material when tensile strength are equal. When tensile strength are unequal, I don't treat the suppliers equally. Am I correct? Right? Now, what type of data it is, the tensile strength? Can somebody tell me? Is it a continuous data?
Continuous data.
Continuous data. So I take 10 sample from supplier A and 10 sample from supplier B and do some audit. Do a study on the tensile strength. 10 data for supplier A, 10 data for supplier B. I take average for supplier A, I take average for supplier B. And this average I will compare. I will expect the average closer to the required value. Am I right? I will expect the average closer to the required value, and I will also compare the average of supplier A with the average of supplier B. This test is called two-sample t-test. Do you all understand what is two-sample t-test? You compare two groups, you compare two samples, you compare two suppliers, you compare two machines, you compare two companies, you compare two different brands. These are all two-sample t-test. Only thing is your data must be a continuous data. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes.
Suppose you have 10 suppliers. Now, will you still do the two-sample t-test? No. You will go for ANOVA. You will go for ANOVA. So when you are studying just two groups, two-sample t-test will do. You can also use ANOVA to do the two-sample study. You can use the ANOVA for any number of groups about two. Two or more groups can be studied, and it is given a special name called ANOVA. ANOVA stands for analysis of variance. ANOVA stands for analysis of variance. But this ANOVA also comes under test of mean only, because finally you are comparing the mean only. Right? If every data differs by a large amount from the mean, that is called a deviation, right? And there will be a variance. So ANOVA actually makes use of the variance. ANOVA actually makes use of variance, but finally it arrives on the decision about the mean only, whether the mean are equal or mean are unequal, right? So how to do that? The procedure will be taught to you, and that is why the term variance comes. It makes use of the variance, but decision is on the mean only. So now all of them are test of mean.
So just one question, sir. One slide back, please.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah, on the previous slide, yes. So when we say that sample t-test, the mu is the sigma is unknown. Here it is said that the sigma is unknown, and for sample Z test we say that sigma is known. So how do we conclude if we don't know the sigma itself? And how do we analyze for t-tests according to the definition given?
If sigma is not known, we will estimate the sigma. What is sigma? Sigma is the standard deviation of the population.
Right.
But you have the sample, right?
Yes, yes.
Sample will also have the standard deviation.
Correct.
That is capital S.
Okay.
Using the S, I will estimate the sigma.
Okay.
Other procedure will be taught to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Very good question. So now a cooking oil manufacturer claims that the saturated fat content is 15% in their brand. Now you are the food safety engineer. Now tell me, what hypothesis testing you will go for now? A cooking oil manufacturer claims that the saturated fat content inside all their cooking oil bottle is 15%. Now you are now the food safety officer. Now, what is the hypothesis testing you will do?
T-test first.
Very good. T-test. Very good answer. T-test. Because you are not part of the company, probably you may not be given the access to the population, but only the reference value is available. That is printed in the packet.
But if I am a food inspector, I'm authorized to go into their company and do the Z test, right?
Yeah. If you are allowed to walk inside the factory, if you are allowed to access the data, now you will change your mind to do Z test. Is that clear now?
Correct.
Very good. So that's why, both options are given here. It can be one sample Z test or it can be one sample T test, depending on the situation. The situation and the data type and the statistics you are studying decides your hypothesis testing. If you make a correct choice, your decision will be more accurate. Because statistics is completely no study about inequality. So you must aim for the best, right? So now the study can be two-tailed, study can be right-tailed, study can be left-tailed. If you wanted to say saturated fat is not 15, then it is a two-tailed study. If you wanted to say it is more than 15 or less than 15, it will be right-tailed or left-tailed. Now, two vendors